And so much conversation about the quarterback, obviously, Coach, and whether he's going to be there or not. What is your sense of Rodgers' participation of the spring this year for the Jets? What's he told you?
Well, he's here.
Okay.
And I know he's got a couple things planned that he had planned prior to ever being traded. So, just to be respectful to all our guys with regards to prior obligations and family stuff. So he's got some things going on, but he's here. He's present, and when I say present, I mean he's fully engaged, and it's really cool just to watch him operate from play to play in his communication and the way he works from position group to position group in terms of explaining things. Like I said, he already knows the system, and so now it's kind of trying to help everyone get on the same page, not only with him but with the coordinator, the O-line, and it's been fun. It's been really a cool thing because we still have a young roster, but this offseason we've been able to add a lot of veterans, so that little mixture is a pretty good combination.
Well, I mean, the adding of veterans on the roster, was that from the vaunted list or not, Coach?
You know what?
The list? What do you got for me on the list?
No, it's okay. Part of it's Hackett too.
Sure.
Whenever you bring in new coaches, and I made mention of it the other day, and I feel like sometimes we try to demonize the quarterback when in actuality it's very common. You've got a new coordinator. He worked with Lazard. He worked with Billy Turner. He took Billy Turner with him to Denver. So he's got guys that he's comfortable with that he wants to continue working with, and the quarterback has some thoughts too. And I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be kind of silly if your Hall of Fame quarterback has a comfort level with somebody and you don't answer that bell. I think it's counterproductive to what you're trying to get done. And if we work, there's an old saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's in communication. If we're truly going to preach communication and being on the same page, and we're going to listen to everything.
Well, I just want you to know, and I'm sure you guess this, I don't care. You get whoever you want that makes him comfortable. Honestly, I do not care one whit because you've got to do what you want to do and what you need to do, and if it makes Rodgers happy and it actually fits your system and your offensive coordinator, then go for it. But did you? I mean, again, was it ever written down on a piece of paper, or did you ever have a conversation like, "Hey, who are you interested in?" Joe Douglas ever tell you they had that conversation at all, Coach?
No, I think in all honesty, nothing's ever been written down. It's just come in, we're watching tape, and suggestions are made, and some of the things that he suggested had already been brought up from Hackett. He'd already, before all the trade talks were even talked about, when we were doing free agency, when Hackett first got hired, he brought up guys that he would love to bring in to help accelerate the installation of the system, and so there was a lot of overlap. It was very easy to make these decisions, and some guys we haven't been able to bring in, and some guys we have, and it's been really good, transparent communication between coaching staff, front office, players, and I think because of it, we've been able to have a very productive offseason.
And in terms of communication, while the Rodgers conversation was being had between the general managers of both the Packers and the Jets, my friend and colleague from Sports Illustrated, Albert Breer, wrote in his column that you and Matt LaFleur, who go way back, right, best men at weddings and whatnot, You guys agreed to just not talk about this situation while it was happening? Is that a true story?
Yeah,
Coach?
Absolutely. I have such high regard for Matt and his family, and it's pointless. We just made the decision to let Joe and Goody do their thing, and we just coach the football teams, and I lean on him, and he leans on me once in a while. We have such good, transparent dialogue with regards to head coaching and thoughts and things. It just wasn't worth allowing this transaction to kind of get in the way of that, if you will. And so it was just an agreement that we made, and that was it. So
was that like at the coaches' meeting, in a text, on a phone, just like, hey,
let's just? That was way before.
Okay.
It was just, we were FaceTime. We FaceTime each other all the time. And
okay.
We're talking. I was like, and both of us, it was really like in a very organic way. Just let's agree not to talk about this and let the GMs do their thing.
Okay, so it's like Fight Club. You said like that's Rodgers became like Fight Club. You don't talk about it. Basically, what it was like. Okay.
Pretty much.
Well, and again, you've been around Rodgers, trying to stop him for many years in big, huge games. What have you learned, Coach Saleh, about Rodgers now that you've been around him as much as you have, and now that he is your guy? What have you learned so far about Aaron Rodgers that you might not?
One of the biggest things that we learned was actually 2 years ago when we went down to Green Bay and scrimmaged against them in practice, and just to watch how he practices and how vocal he is, and his demand for perfection. And so Ken already knew that, but to have him here and just that veteran presence, because in my career. Matt Shaw was a fantastic quarterback at Houston. We go to Seattle. Russell was still young, so I was there for the first couple of years of his career. We go to Jacksonville, and Blake Bortles is early in his career. We go to San Francisco, and Jimmy, technically he was early in his career, even though he was a little bit more vocal because of what he learned from Tom. But he was still, as a starter, just there for 2 years, and he had an injury in there. And then this year, and then we come here, and Zach is early in his career. So to have a veteran quarterback kind of grab the reins and the communication and the level at which he does it, and it is a pretty cool thing because it's a new experience for me too. Just being transparent with regards to the experience of a quarterback, the experience that of that type of a quarterback to be in the same building, and so he's been fantastic. Now again, it's the off season, so everyone's happy. There's no adversity, and so there's a lot of patting on the back. But right now everything's been great.
Yeah, and I'm sure you saw him. He's taken in Ranger games, Nick games. And Sauce is there, Lazard's there, Breece Hall's there. I mean, Jessica Alba's there. I mean, this is totally different now. Coach, this has changed, no doubt about it. The whole business.
Yeah, he's a big city guy at heart. I mean, he's been good. I think he's one of those guys that can kind of take it all in, and it's not too big for him. So it's been good.
Okay, and have you gone up to Sauce and said, "Well, how do you not know who Jessica Alba is?" Have you done that yet, Coach?
No, okay. I let them have their personal life is their personal life. Okay. I usually stay out of that one.
Okay, there you go. All right.